Thank you for watching BSides and thank you for joining us. I'm Alexandra Mitchell. I'm the programming manager with SeriesFest. I'd like to introduce you to Katasha Acosta, who is the creator, writer, producer, and actor in BSides. And I'd love for her to introduce her team.
Hi, everybody. First, I'd like to introduce Lynn Q.A. Young. She is the director extraordinaire of BSides. And sitting next to me here is Nathaniel Blake Johnson, who is my co-writer, co-executive producer, co-producer, all of that. And he makes a little cameo in the pilot. And then we have the lovely, beautiful Brenny Kalu, who is also an actor and co-executive producer as well, and producer.
Wow, thank you all for joining me today. To get started, I'd just love to know, where did the inspiration for BSides come from and how everyone got involved with the project?
I'll start and then I'll kind of popcorn it to anyone else who wants to answer. Initially, the idea of creating came from our experiences, a common experience that we experienced together in grad school, and this kind of dual existence between all the trauma or the pain or what we were going through, but having to wake up every morning, put on a brave face and walk those halls and endure all the things that we were going through. So when I came back from Williamstown Theater Festival, all agents and managers and network people were like, are you creating your own content? Are you creating your own content? So as soon as I got out of that car, I went to everyone and I was like, let's create our own content. And the ideas just started rolling in. And the one that stuck is that commonality between the dual existences, between what you face in the world and how you deal with it behind closed doors. Brenny, Liz?
I think another inspiration too was the fact that as we were, looking for things to work on in graduate school, we were struggling with finding work that not only centered Black women, but showed us in a gamut of emotions and a range of emotions that weren't one-dimensional, that allowed us to be soft, to be, struggling, to be awkward, to be, a variety of things, because we're not a monolith, we're multidimensional. And so the inspiration also was to create women, that did show the range of what Black women are.
Then Q, you have anything?
Well, I mean, I came in somewhere along, I came in right before shooting. Like, what was that, like a week? Was it a week? Was it 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks. So I had the pleasure of kind of reading the longer piece that we had. I can't even remember how long it was. It was very long. And we were able to kind of come together and hone in on the best 30 minutes that we can get done. So meeting everyone was amazing. And I mean, the reason why I was so intrigued by the project is because it was something that I haven't seen before and something that I think the world needs to see. I mean, right now, in lieu of all of the quote unquote Black productions that are coming out, you have a variety of things. And just piggybacking off of what Katasha said and Brenny said, it's so important that we are seen not in a certain, just in this one way. Any kind of Black shows or Black films that I kind of grew up on, we're seeing people are kind of portrayed in one light, or it's just like the stereotypical roles. And this was giving like so much life to the women and Black women that I grew up with, that I knew, that are in my families and my neighborhoods. So I definitely was just kind of awed by the subject matter with these 4 women, and also just the production in general, the people that were also behind the camera, the writers, Katasha, Brenny, I kind of hit it off with them right away. You too, Nate. It was great.
And besides that, there was also this space after graduation where we were so busy prior to graduation. We were so busy. And then after graduation, it was just a kind of like a drop. So it also came out of the experience that we had to create our own show for us. We had to create our own work because it wasn't coming to us.
Instead of waiting for the phone to ring, yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you kind of hinted at this a little bit, but there's always an editing process. And it's not just at the end with the final cut. I'd love to know a little bit about that process while you were writing, while you were in production, and then getting to that final cut that we see today.
Who? we actually, funny, I know that Lin Q is gonna hop all over this question. She actually edited, not only did she edit the final version that you see, but when she came in, we switched directors right before we shot due to unfortunate circumstances. So she came in and she had to get up to speed so quickly, and we had so much. We were gonna shoot the entire series, and she just didn't have enough time, so we really had to hone in. So we had to take all of those pages and get it down to a pilot.
Wow.
In 2 weeks, and everything else that goes along with pre-production. so that's when the editing first started, and then so then you film, and then you have to edit in the edit room, and that's a whole other story of how that came about.
And just a side note on that, for Katasha and Lin Q, that's when they became 24-hour women. They didn't, they were just constantly at each other's houses, doing the work that needed to be done.
That is the quickest friendship that was ever made.
It's true. It's like wartime. It's like 7 years, like when dog years, seriously. Because I feel like I mean, honestly, all three of y'all, I feel like I've known you longer than we have because of the, digging in the dirt and getting everything done the way we did. We just had each other's back, and, that's what's needed to make something great and impactful.
Wow. One of my favorite aspects of this pilot is actually the setting. I feel like we've seen, I mean, you talked a little bit about the timing and just the experience that you were having kind of during grad school, but after grad school, and that there is kind of a drop, but seeing working Black women at a predominantly white institution was really interesting to me. I'd love to know a little bit about, why that choice and how that affects the characters moving forward.
I have to say that setting, when we were kind of fleshing this out, a lot of settings came in. I think that became the setting we settled on because, well, for me, the idea came, my family is from Gainesville, Florida. If you know anything about Gainesville, Florida, it is a college town. Everything revolves around the University of Florida, and the Gators and the football team and everything like that. Also it's in Florida, which, is known for its racism. So for me, that's where the idea, I think, initially came from, where we could all have a setting where we all come together and be in different positions and different places in our lives. And one of the things that we really wanted to reflect is that these women are different ages. They're at different places in their lives on the professional, and as far as professional aspect goes. So, and that allowed us to do that and to explore different professions. Me being the professor, Brenny's character being the author. I think Brenny has an interesting story behind that setting.
I mean, I think it's interesting to explore a Black woman who is an activist and who is, very passionate, not only about her activism, but about love, and in particular, Black love. And, as Black women looking for love in any capacity, you have an idea of what that's going to look like. And sometimes it does not come in the package you expect, and that's something to navigate. And that's navigating not only your own expectations, but expectations of your family, of your friends, and just of the world in general, and what they expect love to look like for you. So it's interesting.
I think it offered up a lot of opportunities that I was really excited to see in the pilot and would like to continue to see. And another really key aspect in the pilot that I assume will continue is also the use of poetry and the use of music. I'd love to know how that kind of enhances the tone, or what you intended for it to enhance the tone for the whole piece.
The story behind that was we actually went through, because for Reagan's character, it was actually, her position was as a manager at a jazz club, or the bookstore.
Kind of like the off-campus club, yeah.
The office. We actually needed her to actually showcase her ability and that history, because essentially with one draft of the play, it was set where it was going to be about her showcasing for an executive producer or a music executive. So music was always incorporated into that. And then we actually just found a way to interweave music into all characters' lives, because there was, especially with Katasha's opening scene, there's like a hurt in that singer's voice, and it just resonated with her character. So music was always able to be translated through each one of these characters' lives.
And I think it has to be. I think music is such a huge force in everybody's lives. Lin Q, I know you have something to say about it.
Oh yes.
Well, I mean, I grew up, music for me saved my life. I know that sounds very dramatic, but music saved my life as a kid and even throughout life, whether it's joyful music or sad music, it's therapeutic in so many ways. And I think as a culture, I think Black culture, just whether it's poetry, it's something we resonate with as a culture. So it definitely has to be some type of underpinning there. Just gets us through.
And it gives you so many ways to express what you're going through that isn't traumatic. It's just so many different ways of expression, and being able to be in that campus club, but have Reagan's character kind of oversee that. So it's coming from her perspective. That's so strong. It's always coming from a Black woman's perspective, no matter who's on the mic or who gets up, you know what I'm saying? So there's power in that as well. And there's a lot of opportunity there, and it is written to reflect that.
Wow. Well, thank you all so much for sharing BSides with us and sharing it with our audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.